I'm gonna get my phone charger quick. My phone's about to die. I'm looking at notes, so let me get that quick. Yeah, 1 second.
I'll hold the thought. I'll keep the thought in my brain.
You have thoughts relating to this?
Yeah.
I feel like it sucked thoughts out of my head. I really don't normally get the urge to want to fucking leave. But I got it super bad with this movie. Really, really bad.
This was one of very few consciously deciding to grab a beer in the middle of the movie and come back movies. It was at the theater. I didn't go across the block. I came out of the theater and someone who works there that watches my videos is like, so how's the movie? I'm like, it's not good. Just get up here and I go back. And it was just it was so boring that I was legitimately struggling to stay awake. I was during the action scenes was the most boring shit ever. I don't even think I lost sleep that night. I think I just was tired from the movie. The dialogue scenes were funny because they were so bad, but the action scenes were just what am I being shown here? This is the most generic nothing's happening. It's so uninspired. I'm being chased by dinosaurs. Watching it's less entertaining than watching a 4-year-old play with Legos going woo, show, they're fucking it's much more uninspired, much more uncreative, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I would rather watch a kid play with dinosaur toys.
Hell yeah.
It's basically
so
what you're
better.
watching anyway. It's basically what you're watching. That's what's going on basically in the film. There's nothing to attach yourself to. It's just
much more cynical.
Yeah, it is I don't know. There's just all this pointless nonsense in it. I felt so bad for the actors having to deliver this dialogue. B.D. Wong, he comes back for some reason because he just he's trying. He's really trying, but just the dialogue he has to deliver, especially with the cloning or whatever, him trying to explain that the mom made Maisie from her own DNA, and all of that was just so silly. And it gets even more ridiculous. The mom had some kind of genetic disorder, which they barely explain, which killed her, but then when she cloned her daughter, she removed that part of her genetic code that made her sick or something, so Maisie wouldn't die. Yeah. It's so long-winded. I just started laughing in the middle of his expository dialogue. It's just so fucking ridiculous, and I just felt so bad for these actors at points. Well, and I also don't feel bad for them because they're getting paid a lot of money, which is why they're doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just this movie only exists to keep a franchise going.
It exists for the
Everyone's
money.
just doing it for money. It's just money.
There were a lot of moments where I just kind of sat in awe and just thought even just during dialogue scenes, I just had this thought man, there were a lot of people that worked on this. There's a lot of people behind the camera right now. There's an entire room full of the crew and then some, all these people on the payroll, and they're all coming together to make a big piece of shit and that nobody cares about. And they're we're all in unison. We're all working together for a common cause to make a big piece of shit. Just money. Nothing creative. No art.
I just could not believe it. It was total shit. It was just unbelievable. How schlocky it really was. They gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really expecting something at least a little bit closer to that first Jurassic World, which is, it's not good by any means, but I think it's good in comparison to this. It's kind of just a loose Jurassic Park remake, modernized with the mega dinosaurs or whatever, with a little dash of new commentary. But this, one of my favorite things about it was the way it tried to wrap up. It realized towards the end of the 2 hours, oh shit, we haven't really been building up to anything. So how are we going to make this feel like it's concluding in some way?
Put an ending in there.
Throw nostalgia out there. Make it about just explain the themes of the first movie and just say that that's what this movie was about, and we'll bookend it. Sweet.
Yeah, and then they throw in a fight with a T-Rex and the Joker dinosaur or whatever, the Giga.
Oh yeah, and that as well, because that was in Jurassic World 1.
The Giga Jokersaurus?
Yeah, they just throw that in,
Yeah.
Awful. Holy shit.
Because that was in the first Jurassic World, it ended with T-Rex killing the new bio-dinosaur that's an abomination.
I forgot that was
the
the
nostalgia play. Yeah, and they do it again.
The point is nature always wins, no matter what the humans make, but nature will always come up with something better. It's just and why was so much of the focus of this movie not just the cloning, but like the locust. Like that was like the villain, not like any kind of dinosaur or anything. That was such a big part of the movie. I'm like, these things are so fucking boring. And like, why is the villain like? Why does he want locusts? Like, why is he keeping them in these vats? And like, why is he letting them go? I wasn't even clear on like the motivation of the villain or the motivation of anybody, really.
Yeah, it was like this espionage like type plot. Well, yeah, they wanted the locusts so they could control food and start like starving people and controlling just food production.
Yeah.
I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, like at least in the other movies, it's like, okay, they want to make a theme park and like certain businessmen like want to like have the DNA or something.
Yeah, you can see an incentive.
So, yeah, right, something like that. But you know, even at this point, it's just like every movie, the businessman is like the bad guy, and they just keep doing the same thing. It's like the same villain and the same cliche shit every time. It's so tired. It's like they don't know what to do with this franchise at this point.